Arsenal advancing in the move for Benjamin Sesko. However, the Victor Gyokeres deal is still on the table. Who should the Gunners sign? Let's get straight into the news. How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Punch Drunk Arsenal, your home to all the latest Arsenal news and transfer updates. In today's episode, we're going to take a little look at the striker position. We've had some somewhat breaking news from Fabrizio Romano last night regarding our hunt for a new striker. And I think now is probably one of the best times to just chat a little bit about what's going on, where we are, what's the situation on the transfer front regarding the striker. As I mentioned, we saw some breaking news from Fabrizio Romano last night that the Gunners have actually initiated concrete talks with RB Leipzig over Sesko. We've actually also seen some breaking news just come in out of Germany from Florian Plettenberg, also confirming the news that the Gunners are in talks with Sesko and RB Leipzig. However, as we know, in my personal opinion, this is not really breaking news per se. I've personally heard from about two sources that this isn't really breaking news, and as most of us know as well, the Gunners actually have been in talks with Sesko and RB Leipzig for the best part of a year now. We came close to signing Sesko at the beginning of last summer as well as in January. So in my humble opinion, I don't really think this is breaking news that we're in talks with Sesko. We've been linked with him for, like I mentioned, for the best part of a year. And now I think we're just following up on those talks. Apparently, according to Plettenberg, Andrea Berta met with the representatives of RB Leipzig. I believe it's the CEO of Leipzig, was it Max Schaefer, I think. I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that correctly. A couple of days ago. And I think this is personally just to keep our options open on the striker front. Obviously, Sesko is a player Mikel Arteta really likes, a player that he wants to bring into the club, his first choice. Then on the other hand, we've got Berta who really wants to bring in Victor Gyokeres. The thoughts that the Gyokeres deal is done and complete or like over and that we're not going to be pursuing him anymore, I've heard is false. He remains a high priority target for the Gunners this summer. Personal terms have already been agreed for a couple of weeks now. Gyokeres wants to join Arsenal. He's agreed to a 5-year deal, so up until 2030 to join the club. I think now it's just personally now it's between Arsenal. I think there's internal dialogue still happening about who they should actually pursue, because as we know, signing an elite striker, someone that's actually going to elevate the club to that elite level, is something that is of a high priority for the club this summer. They really can't make a mistake, and I think that's arguably why we've seen that there's so much internal dialogue going at the club, and also why we haven't really triggered or pursued a player as of yet. Well, not pursued, because we have pursued two players, but you know what I mean, like really push for one of them. So I think it's still definitely up in the air between Victor Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko. I think there's pros and cons to both players. A lot of people on X have been debating, should we be going for Sesko, who's got immense potential, who could arguably become one of the best centre forwards in the world in a couple of years, or should we be signing someone like Gyokeres, who's the finished product, who's going to come in and score goals right now? And I think both sides of the argument definitely have a strong argument for their points. In my humble opinion, I think we should be going for Gyokeres just because we need that finished product right now. I think Sesko in maybe 2-3 years is going to be one of the best strikers in the world. In a dream scenario, we sign both of them. However, we know that that's probably not likely to happen because we still have Kai Havertz as well, who can play in the centre forward position. So it's going to be an interesting one to see where the Gunners move ahead with the striker position. When you look at both players, Sesko, only 21, I believe his birthday's tomorrow, so let's say he's a 22-year-old. He scored about 27 goals and assisted, I think, 5 or 8 maybe I think it's 5. So he's got about 30 plus goal contributions for this last season, whereas Victor Gyokeres, on the other hand, has got about 75 goal contributions for this last season. So when you look at both players, you can definitely see that Gyokeres definitely is now the more elite striker at this moment in time. However, Sesko has got like the bag loads of potential. He's arguably one of the most athletic strikers in the world. He still has a lot of room to grow. One concern with Sesko, however, is his passing capabilities, his link-up play. He's quite poor when it comes to the final ball into the final third. So that's something that the Gunners should take into consideration. But obviously, with a young player, Mikel Arteta can definitely work on that. And if he believes that that's an area where he can improve a player, that's also something that we should be looking at. Gyokeres, on the other hand, as I mentioned, he's an elite centre forward. arguably the best centre forward in Europe at the moment. He got about 64 goals in the last season for internationals, including internationals, as well as about 12 assists. So you can see he's definitely a little bit more on the ball, a little bit more creative than Sesko. Sesko is a clinical finisher. He can finish. We've seen those long range bangers that he scores. You can also finish headers. And if you actually look at what the Gunners have been doing in the last couple of weeks before the end of the season, we do prioritize a lot of crossing into the box, especially those ones where Saka cuts back onto his left foot and whips it in from the edge of the box. So, as I mentioned, for me, definitely this is at the moment, it's a 50-50 between the two players. I would be pleased with either one coming in. I just personally think that Gyokeres is the right option for right now. Sesko, on the other hand, could become one of the best in the world. So it's just about evaluating where the Gunners are and what they want to do. I think we're going to see a lot of movement possibly in the next couple of days regarding this deal. As I mentioned, Florian Plettenberg also just pretty much as we're busy recording, released a statement that the Gunners are pushing hard to sign Sesko. And as we personally heard that the Gyokeres deal is still very much open. And Plettenberg actually also commented that Gyokeres is still on the list for the Gunners. So I think 50-50 at the moment between Sesko and Gyokeres. As I mentioned, there's pros and cons to both players. They both present different types of skills. Actually, Gyokeres, even though Sesko is much taller, I think he's like 195 centimeters, so it's about 6'4", 6'5". Gyokeres isn't short by any means of the standard. He's about 6'2", 188 I think, or 189. So he's also another tall striker. So you can also obviously add that physical side to the game. It just depends on where we go. Sesko is going to play we've been linked with for a number of months / even years maybe. I think it's been 18 months, 24 months that we've actually been tracking the play, and then obviously last year we put concrete talks into to actually sign him last summer. Gyokeres is someone that's also been on Arsenal's list. Obviously, I think he's on most of the elite clubs in the world's list. But especially since Berta's come in, he's really been pushing to sign Gyokeres. And according to other reports we've read, that he's actually the board's preferred player, while Arteta's is Sesko. So I think it's just going to be between whoever they decide on in the end, and both players do want to join Arsenal. So we're in a very strong position currently regarding the striker position. Guys, but let me know who you think we should sign. Who do you think is the ideal striker to come into Arsenal and actually elevate us to the next level? As I mentioned, the fan base is pretty much split 50-50 at the moment between these two players. And it's just going to be an interesting summer transfer window. The striker position is something we can't get wrong. We need to definitely bring a striker that's going to bag at least 20 goals in the Premier League next season. And then hopefully a couple in the Champions League. So let me know in the comments below who you guys think we need to sign. Sesko, Gyokeres. It's really not up to the fans, but I know the fans have got a lot of opinions on this transfer especially. As always, guys, please don't forget to smash that like button. Follow Punch Drunk Arsenal for your latest Arsenal news and transfer updates. And leave your comments in the comment section down below. Cheers, guys. How's it